Hello everyone and welcome to the M1 Frank channel. I'm not really used to doing this kind of voiceover stuff, so excuse me for not being top notch or anything like that with this. But I just wanted to give my opinions on the, or my reactions, opinions, whatever the hell, on the Splatoon 3 patch, as well as some of the new weapons. Now I don't know if I'm going to do this every time, but if it does well, then why not? So to start off, of course, we got the new catalog coming in, and we also have some patch notes. We're gonna go over the patch notes, then we're gonna go over the various kits for the new weapons, at least ones that are known. But changes multiplayer. The tri-stringer, the size of the terrain area inked by fallen spray has been increased. I guess what that means. With a full charge shot with those pellets that hit the ground and explode, I think that's what it means by the falling spray. So I think that's going to be... so it pretty much is going to paint more. Splatoon wiper. The width of the ink launched by horizontal slices have been increased by 27%. So swiping left to right, inks more. Size of the terrain area inked by fallen spray has been increased. Interesting. And it's easier to connect inked in an uninterrupted straight line. So I guess both ways of shooting the thing is inking more. Alright, so they both got a buff. Angle shooter. The sub that literally everyone is hating on because they say it sucks so much. And yeah, I will admit that it's not a great sub in comparison to what all the other subs are. I mean, I would argue that this would be like a different kind of point sensor, but point sensor is already in the game, so I don't see completely the point of it. I mean, a direct hit with it is only a 30 damage, and it only locates people who are like who touches the line of it. Which there are a couple narrow maps, so I can kind of see what their idea was. It's just unfortunately the thing needs some definite buffs, especially to damage. But as we could see here, it's not a buff to damage. It is a velocity and a flight range. So it travels faster and has more range. I mean, it did feel like it was kind of short, because I main the Blue Splattershot Pro, as you guys have seen by my gameplay videos. So any buffs, I guess, is good, but I would like to have like to see damage to it. Maybe increase it up to 40. Zipcaster ink consumption when using main weapon. While the Zipcaster is active, has been decreased by 67%. Of previous. I don't know why they would do that. I mean, that might just send Zipcaster into a much more popular special. Especially since you have so much more ink in your main weapon to attack with. Damage to the return shot has been increased from 120 to 220. That's a big damage buff. Holy crap. Inkvac just got a lot stronger. This change is intended to increase the damage done to Big Bubbler and Rainmaker Shield, and to allow players to defeat opponents armored due to Squid Roll or Squid Search. I mean, it already felt like it was really powerful, personally. But now it's even more powerful, and people are going to be using this to probably quick pop Rainmaker late game. And also, it's going to be good to break a bubbler that's on the tower and and vice versa. So, Inkvat is definitely going to be a counter weapon to a big bubbler for sure. Reslider damage from the rush attack and from being caught up in the explosion at short range is to increase from 180 to 220. So Reslider is stronger. It honestly, it never felt weak. And again, this has the same thing. So Reef Slider can be used to pop Rainmaker and Bubble Shields as well, which people already kind of do. I've seen people use Reef Slider in Splatfest to break Big Blubber all the time. And I didn't really feel like it was weak, so I didn't really see a point for this buff, but that's fine. 10 missiles. After launch is confirmed, the special gauge will not now slowly decrease, and the special gauge will not be able to begin charging again until the gauge has completely drained from the previous use. Finally, I want 10 missiles deleted from the game, personally, just like I want Flyfish deleted from the game. 10 missiles, I don't think has any part being in this game. 10 missiles were a problem in the second game. They weren't a problem at the start because they were a sucky special at the start. And then they just got buff after buff after buff. And the problem with Splatoon 2 is special spam. Special spam was a huge problem in Splatoon 2. And I hate special spam. I think it's a very cheap way to win. And it doesn't encourage good, positive play at all. And the sad thing is, the reason why people use special spam is because it works. And I hate special spam metas. It's just boring. It's honestly boring. And especially 10 missile spam. I mean, pretty much any weapon that could paint and had 10 missiles, people used them. Case shot. In this game, it was the Flinger Roller. I forget if Flinger Roller had them in the second game. I think they did, yeah. But yeah, any weapon with 10 missiles. It's, I think, Jet Squelcher in the first game. That was used in meta play, and it was just used to fucking spam missiles. And that's just not something I want to see in the game, personally. And I know I'm not the only one in that regard, so... Yeah, I'm glad it's getting that kind of a nerf. I think it needs to be nerfed harder. I think it needs to be nerfed into the absolute ground. And I don't think any more weapons should have 10 missiles on them. I don't. Keep 10 missiles at a fucking minimum. Arrow Spray. We got some point changes for specials. Arrow Spray, 10-point buff. NZAP, 10-point buff. NZAPs are going to be more of a meta weapon now that they have a 10-point buff. Pro, I didn't realize Pro was a 200-point special. 10-point buff for Pro, 10-point buff for Jet Squelcher, 10-point buff for H3, and a 10-point nerf to the E-Leader. Which, honestly, doesn't really change much. It's a nerf, yes. Doesn't really change much. And E-Leader's problem is really not its special. It's really more, it's an E-Leader. It has range, and people know how to shoot with it. So, I'm not for nerfing E-Leader. I like E-Leader. I don't like it when E-Leader is bad. Especially since the E-Leader is blue, and I'm biased. So, Undertow Spillway changes to a stage. Change some parts of the turf war mode terrain. Delete a part of the terrain on the left side when looking from the player's start areas. Added ramps to allow for invading opponent areas. Okay. Other various fixes here. Changes the X battle. I mean, you're gonna. I don't really care. It's basically just anyone who's S plus is available for X power, which is an I guess you could say it's a nerf to X rank because, well, it's a nerf to it, because in the previous game you can get S plus at S plus get X rank at S plus 10. Now you don't have to get to S plus 10 anymore, and it's just you do 5 placement matches. And then after that, to gain and lose power, you either win 3 or lose 3 in a series. So pretty much it's a 3-3 series. You play a series until you win 3 or lose 3. It's basically the same as Anarchy. It's literally the same. I don't know how many people are going to be playing X Battle over Anarchy. It might be the most popular mode, it might be the least popular mode, or it might be split. We don't know yet because we don't know how players are going to react to it. And honestly, I don't know either. Changes to ranked. Players can, apparently they added a feature to reset your rank for some odd reason. You can only do this once per season. It's added a feature allowing players to purposely reset their rank. This feature is going to be used once per season by players B rank or higher. When a ranked player is reset, is determined automatically by their estimated ability based on their battles up to that point. I don't know why you would do this. Honestly. Why would you reset your rank? I guess if you're bored and you're maxed rank and you're bored? I don't know why anyone would do this. But points changes. So they've been nerfed or buffed. I don't know how you would call this. But they cost more now. A- and A cost more, A plus costs more, S costs more, and S plus and up costs more. A and A minus and A, as well as A plus, are all 10 points more per series. S is 20 points more, and so is S plus is also 20 points more. Change to the stamina run. Basically, for the most part, it's just added big run. How many was particular stage, regular battles. Different decorate. Yeah. Added a feature to replay job scenarios. Save and replay job scenarios. So you can, yeah, you can do that. Also, they nerfed Big Shot, which I think is a good thing because Big Shot can be very, very annoying, especially when multiples of them spawn. And I do think they move rather quickly. There's been instances where there's just like 3, maybe even 4. I don't know what the max is. Big shots, and they're all added in those cannons into the machine, and they're just all hitting the ground like alternating seconds. And there's just a constant wave on the ground. You can't avoid them all. So having them slower, I do think is a positive, and I think it needed to be done. The management played as the big shot comes to find it was shown for longer than before, making it easier to determine where the shot was fired from. So yeah. Nerfing big shot was a definite must, especially when you're at those higher difficulty waves and you just have a whole lot of bosses just spawning in one after one after one after another, and you just don't have the time to go all the way down to the shore and deal with the big shot. And usually there's that one player that thinks he's God and does it all by himself and fails and dies. I've occasionally done it only because I get upset and I'm like, you know, I'm killing this motherfucker because we're gonna lose, and I just want revenge. Performance, some specials have been changed. Increase damage dealt by 20%. Increased more damage from Ink Strike. Kill Rail and Ink Strike have felt like kind of weak. Player will not be a target for most samurai attacks while returning to the position after the period has ended. No longer be a target for most samurai attacks while trying on the Booyah Bomb. Yeah, I have noticed that when you using Booyah Bomb in a panic hasn't really, you know, they kill you anyway. So if you use Booyah Bomb in a crowd of them, they're just gonna kill you. So now that might be less of a problem. Number of boss enemies that can appear has at once has been capped at 15. I don't know what it was before, but now it's capped at 15. So I guess that's good. I don't know what it was at before. So there we go. That's a lot of bosses, though, still. Holy shit. Changes to Splatfest. I already read this prior. And I gotta say, I don't like it. Because it basically makes the whole halftime thing pointless. Because, whoa, okay, this team is leading at halftime. But that's all you know. I mean, that's all that matters. Well, this person, or this team is leading, but nothing changes. The only thing that changes is that Tricolor is now in the rotation, but the team that is leading is no longer going to be guaranteed the defending team. Now Tricolor is you either go in solo or in a pair, so you can't go in as a squad. So I guess there's that. I guess they're getting rid of going in as a squad. So now you can only max go in as a pair. And you have a 50-50 chance of being either an attacker or a defender. And if you're a defender, you get paired with another pair. Or 2 solo randoms, I guess. And I just think that's a bad move. Because think of it like this. Let's say you're Team Fire, right? In the previous fest, like I was. And you have 2 terrible players on your team, like Putz or a certain other person I know. Or I used to know, I should say. And they're terrible. And they're the reason why you lost. My point is if you're on a bad Splatfest team, like you're the weak Splatfest team out of the 3. Because there's always the weakest, of course. There's always a team that has the weakest players or the non-competitive or non-top tier players, while the other 2 teams are mixed with the top tier players. That's happened before. Not all the time, but it has happened before. And the other 2 teams dominate, while you're just there being like the, haha, I'm in danger sort of a thing. And you're just there just being a body for them to smack on while they're also smacking each other. Now, that sounds like a good night. Anyway. If you're the weakest Splatfest team, and you're the weakest, let's say, by 5%, which is pretty a lot in Splatfest terms, and you get stuck defending, that's not going to be a good time. At least, that's what I predict. And there's also a chance of the entire lobby, according to this, of the entire lobby being one Splatfest team entirely. Like, let's say Water, for instance. If we had the Pokemon Splatfest under these rules, there was actually possibility, well, now going to be a possibility, that both attacking and the defending side is all going to be Water. But according to this, if that happens, there's not going to be any clout exchanged with that. It says it right here. Depending on the population ratios for Splatfest teams, there may be Tricolor battles where all 8 players are on the same Splatfest team. In these cases, clout will not be calculated. I don't know why they would have that be a thing. I don't understand. I thought Tricolor was good at test fire. I thought the test fire was fine. But then they reduced the likelihood of it. And now they're doing this. I like Tricolor battles. I think they're a good innovation. And I just think a lot of people that are bitching about it were just salty that they lost. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the defending team has all the advantage for the most part. And then the attacking teams, they don't even have to win the match to gain some clout because they're already behind. The whole point of Tricolor is to have like the 2 Splatfest teams that are losing, help them like catch back up, make it a lot more competitive. People just want to be like, okay, well, we're the winning Splatfest team right now, so we should just run away with this thing and automatically win. I like things being competitive. I like a story where you're on the bad Splatfest team, right? And a few selection of players help carry the team to victory. That's an underdog story. That's a comeback story. I like those sort of things. Those are entertaining. When the best win every single time, it gets boring. Look at Tom Brady, for instance. He's the best quarterback of all time. He won like 7 Super Bowls. Now imagine if he won every single Super Bowl in his entire career. That's over 20 Super Bowls. After like 10 in a row, you start to get bored and you start to like, okay, can someone else win now? Can someone else have a chance? Can someone else win? Why do you have to win every single time? That's a perfect example of if the best win every single time, it gets boring. Underdog stories make it exciting. Yes, I understand they're the best for a reason, and so they have some sort of liability to win, and you should expect them to win. Sorry, I just hit my mic. You should expect them to win because, they're the best. But just because you're the best or a top one doesn't mean you're God, doesn't mean you're untouchable. I know it sounds, I guess, crazy or something like that. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people will understand that watching the same person win over and over and over again, it gets boring. It gets really boring. Underdog stories make it exciting. I mean, I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm biased with underdog stories. Look at the 2017 fucking Super Bowl. Anyway, you can fold shirts now in the locker, and when you press B, things will go back to the previous where they were before you grabbed anything. Photo mode from Recon. Random bug fixes. Yeah, that's really it. So, those are the patch notes. People are upset that they didn't touch Crab. I personally think they should have touched Splash. And nerf Splash, like the points for special for Splash, at the very least. Splash-O-Matic. I don't think Crab's the problem. I think Splash-O-Matic is the problem. Plus, I'm just sick and tired of people bitching about things just for the sake of bitching. I think the game's relatively balanced right now. It's not necessarily anything that's overly broken over everything else. I mean, yes, Machine is good, Splash is good, but they're not like oppressively good. I mean, yeah, a whole team of sloshing machines or a whole team of Splash-O-Matics can pretty much dominate a match in the right people's hands, but it's not as bad as like the vanilla splatter shot from Splatoon 2 or the day one release Tri-Slosher or anything like that. It's not that oppressive, at least in my opinion. Well, let's get to the weapons. Well, we don't have a kit for this weapon. We have the Splattershot Nova, which I am fearful that this is going to outclass the Splattershot Pro. So, galactic range and out of this world look. So, what is this going to have like more range than the Gal? A 96 Gal? I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work. But I am worried how this is going to affect the Splattershot Pro because I like the Splattershot Pro and people already are shitting on the weapon and it's frankly pissing me off. It's like, the weapon's not bad, you're bad. But I'm just worried that this is going to completely outclass it because the Pro was already outclassed by the Squeezer in the previous game, and I just want my weapon not to be oppressive like the K Pro, but I just want my weapon to be respectable. That's all I want it to be. And here we have the Big Swig Roller, which we also don't know the kit for this, but apparently this has wide rolling technology. It allows you to cover a wide area. I guess it's a rolling heavy paint weapon. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure how this thing's gonna work. Is it like a flingza? Is it like a normal splat roller? Is it an odd mix? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Here we have the... Let's see, what is this thing called? The Snipe Rider 5H. A new charger that holds up to 5 shots. This could be a problem weapon. This could definitely be a problem weapon. I'm not sure how this works yet. We also don't have a kit for this yet, but this could easily be a problem weapon. Kind of like the, what the ballpoint Splatling was in the second game before it got nerfed. The thing could be a problem. Or it could absolutely suck, and it could just be another GooTuber. I think it'll depend on the kit, but the main weapon has me a little bit worried. And here are the start of the kits, at least the ones that I could find. Here we're at the Slosher Deco with the Angle Shooter sub and the Zipcaster special. Now, obviously, people are going to be not picking this for the sub weapon, but they're going to be picking it for the Zipcaster. Can you imagine a Zipcaster on a Slosher? You can Zipcast easily to like an uninhabitable fucking high ground and just slosh down and they can't touch you. I can see that happening. And because with a Zipcaster, you can obviously stand on various different things on different stages. So you can just go on a high part of the stage and just sprinkle it down, I guess. Just pissing them all. Anyway, next weapon, we have the Golden Aerospray, which has Sprinkler and Booyah Bomb, which honestly, I was expecting Sprinkler and Triple Ink Strike due to Splatoon 1, or Ink Mine and Ink Strike. They seem to be combining Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 stuff. 1 plus 2 equals 3, right? But yet they have been doing like a weird mix of Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 related stuff when it comes to stages and also kits in a way. But the Golden Aerospray has Sprinkler, Booyah Bomb. It's going to be a Booyah Bomb spammer. I hate that. I hate Booyah Bomb spam. I hate any weapons, any special weapon spam. But that's what Aerospray does. Aerospray is a gun, a main weapon that's meant to paint the ground and get special real fast. And with Sprinkler, it's going to get even more fast. And this is going to be a Turf War, a heavy Turf War common weapon, pretty much. A heavily common Turf War weapon. I can't speak English. English is my first language and it's also my worst. Anyway, Dappledoo's Nouveau. I know Putz is not going to use this because he says he hates Torpedo. But I say good riddance. I don't want him to use his weapons. I don't want him to play the game at all, honestly, because he's terrible. Anyway, back on topic. Torpedo, Re-Slider. In my opinion, a good Rainmaker weapon. A Re-Slider is good for, apparently with the new buff, good for breaking the shield, and also can easily make a path for Rainmaker because it paints the ground when it slides. So it's going to be a very interesting weapon, good for Ninja Swim, good for aggressive players, and I think it's just a good kit for Dappledoos all around. And I hate these close range weapons like Dapples and Sploosomatics. They're the bane of my existence. But I have to say that they have a good kit when they have it, so this is a good kit. I'm going to hate seeing this weapon a lot. Here we have the Ink Brush with Ink Mines and Ultra Stamp. Not the best kit it could have, but it's only a kit that some people are probably going to be sleeping on that might actually be really oppressive. I mean, Ink Brush is an aggressive kind of a support-ish frontline weapon. It gets in your face. And Ultra Stamp is good for being in people's faces, especially since you could just activate it, jump, swing, and then start smashing away at your enemies. And Ink Mines are good for just chip damage. When I use Ink Mine Nouveau in the second game that had Ink Mine and Baller, a lot of times I would use Ink Mine for chip damage so I can kill them even quicker with the main weapon. It was a good combo with that, and I could see that being the whole thing here, like ink mine, damage, quick kill, ink brush, activate hammer, throw it at a sniper, kill the sniper. I could see people doing that. So I could see this being a real headache for sniper weapons, especially if people are good at throwing the ultra stamp. And well, it could be a weapon that people are going to sleep on, and it's probably going to be not necessarily meta or good, but it can be very annoying and pretty popular. Now, as I was mentioned before, Splattershot Pro. Now, with the previous weapon, the reason why I was thinking it could outclass the Pro is it could outdo it in range, maybe even damage. We don't know yet. It could just be a dually squelcher, like a dual squelcher from the first game, but not a dual squelcher, just reskinned. So it might be light on damage and just really long range. We don't know. But I love my Splattershot Pros. And I like this kit. Suction Bomb, Booyah Bomb is a good kit. I have to say that because it's true. I like the Forge in the second game because I love bubbles. If it was up to me, I'd get rid of 10 missiles and put bubbles back into the game because I love the bubble special. It's just fun to use. Bubbles are fun to use. And they're also especially fun when you can get a quad with just popping up bubble. It's great. And seeing big bubbles at defending yourself. I love bubbles. I know they're boring with the whole running all special power up on them. But I actually was for them limiting amount how big the bubbles can be. So you can just run the necessary amount of special power up and then just run whatever you want in the other slots. I think the optimal was a main and 2 subs of special power up by the end of it. I think that's what the optimal for one. But back to Forge. Honestly, I hope we don't see K Pro again and we have Berry Pro back. I know they said they're going to bring all the weapons back, but I'd rather see a Berry Pro over a Kensa Pro. Because I just think the black and white weapon scheme was just boring. Very bland. I played a lot of Splatoon 2, but I actually hate Splatoon 2 because Splatoon 3 has made me realize that Splatoon 2 is very, very bland. Very bland, not a lot of animation to it. And, like, animation in the squids and octolings. Why can't I talk? So, yeah. And, the weapon, designs are a lot better in the third game as well. They don't just have a logo slapped on them. As for this kit, it's a good kit. You know, I have no more to say than that. Most people are just gonna who play Pro or like Pro in any sort of way, they're gonna play this over the blue one. I have my blue one 4-starred and I'm gonna 5-star it. And I'm still gonna use it for Crab Tank. You can say whatever you want, but I'm still going to use my Blue Pro, and I don't care what anyone else thinks, because I like my weapons. And I frankly don't care what competitive players have to say. They have their opinions, and I can choose to not listen to them and play the way I want to fucking play. And you should do the same as well. Don't let anyone dictate what weapons you play. And don't let anyone make you feel bad for playing a particular weapon. Like saying, well, have fun losing. Well, I don't want to get too vulgar right now. I can get really vulgar, but I'm not. This is. I want to stay on topic here. Anyway, here we have a weapon I actually really like the design of. This, because in the previous game they just had like the zinc logo just slapped on it. It had the same color scheme and all. I like it when they recolor the weapon and just have a completely new design on it. That's not just, just change the color to black and white and there you go. I like this color. It's a very like teal, white, and blue. I really like it. And I'm probably going to play it just for the look of the weapon alone. But the kit is a big bonus of why I'm going to probably play it a lot more. It's a throwback to the Zimmy from the first game. Because Toxic Mist is the modern version of Disruptor, and Big Bubbler is the modern nerfed version of Bubbler. So, this is probably going to be one of the top weapons of the next format. And I'm probably going to play it. And here, this is not the K-Luna. This is the Luna Blaster Neo. Fizzy Bomb, Ultra Stamp. Ultra Stamp is an meh special. Fizzy Bombs are one of the best subs. So I can see why they wanted to balance that out. They don't want to give it the best sub and the best special. Because well, the last thing you want is like a Luna Blaster dominant meta, I guess. I do like the fact that they want to keep everything balanced. I do not want to see one weapon dominating the entire format. I just don't. So I think this is a good balance. I like the design of it. Black and purple. I love it. I like just redesigning the weapons instead of just slapping a sticker on it. I said it 3 times already. So I like the design of it. I like the kit. I mean, I probably would give it a different special technically. But it's still good. Now we have a 2-for-1 here. We have another callback to Splatoon 1 in Carbon Deco with Burst Bomb and Trizooka. People are going to be playing this, like, to no end. I know you probably can't use your sub while using the Trizooka anymore. But still. This is probably going to be one of the most popular weapons out there. Especially if you're a Splatoon 1 veteran. So I think this is probably going to be probably not a top weapon, but probably a very popular weapon, in my opinion. And down here we have what Chara apparently says is going to be the new best weapon in the game. The Custom Splattershot Jr., which same design, just a sticker slapped on it. So has the same design as the previous 2 games. It has Torpedo and Wave Breaker, which I admit actually is a decently good kit. Wave Breaker, may not do a lot. It's a very good support, crowd control like special, pretty much forcing people to move. So same with Torpedo. So this is gonna be a very annoying weapon and kit to go up against. I don't know if it's gonna be the dominant best weapon in the game when it comes out, but I do think it's gonna be very annoying, and people are probably gonna be using this over the other one. Now, the last weapon, I couldn't find a screenshot for or a tweet of it at all. But apparently the kit for it has been confirmed. I just can't find the fucking picture of it. And I didn't really have enough time to do intense research to find it. As you can see, I got this all from Splatoon North America, which has official on it. But, nevertheless, I hear that the Tenatech Splattershot kit is going to have Splat Bomb and Triple Ink Strike, which I approve of. I like the kit. I think it gives it a lot more painting power because the Splattershot already can paint relatively well. Splat Bomb is a very good sub-weapon, and Triple Ink Strike paints a lot. So I think it's a good kit. Do I think people are going to play it over the original? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to be mixed. We'll see. But I think for the most part, I think these kits are relatively good, relatively balanced. And I think people are kind of overhyping them a little bit. I don't really believe in the hype for a lot of things because most of the time, things don't live up to the hype. And things happen that you don't expect. Like this could, the Splash Shot Junior could end up being like the worst one of these, while people are saying it's gonna be the best. And for all we know, T-Tech ends up being the broken one. We don't know because we don't know how things are gonna format. We also have a new stage coming out, the Flounder Heights one. I don't know if that's coming out when the new season does, but We'll just gonna have to wait and see. I am not a competitive player. I'm always in like the top ranks. I play when I can. And people say that I'm a really good player in this game. I think I suck. But you can watch my gameplay videos to find out for yourself. I'll probably put them in like a clickable tab thing at the end of the video here. Click on those if you want to watch my gameplay. Make a judge for yourself. Leave a comment. Tell me how I'm doing. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Give me constructive criticism. Don't just tell me you suck. Give me constructive criticism, what I can do better. I'd rather see that. Because I can actually take constructive criticism as long as you're nice about it and not a dick. No dick. No dicks. Anyway. Hope you all have a great day. And enjoy the chill season. Because I will be chilling in the cold. That's so lame. Anyway, bye.